And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you took that time to get some snacks and to relieve yourself, because we're not stopping. We're here in the grand finals of the KSL Summer Slam with a best of 7 between some of the best players in the entire world. Best of 7 between Maru and Dark. Predictions in the chat are open. Place your bets on who you think is going to be the champion of the KSL Summer Slam. Good luck. Good luck with your predictions. Again, best of 7. Let's go. And it all begins here. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing KranKy Gaming. The best Zerg in South Korea. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player representing Onside Gaming, the best Terran in the world. It is Maru. Take that, Sergeant Sadsack. Oh god. Here we go. Maru once again going for the low ground 2 racks opener here, as to be expected. Again, it's been very trendy over in the land of South Korea amongst all the Korean Terran players. Oh, and of course Maru is likewise one to make full use of this. Now, as we've already seen in his previous series against Solar, Maru doesn't have to rely on this. We've seen him go for proxies as well with the Proxy Reaper variation of 2 racks, and I'm sure Maru is willing to go for a racks expand as well if he needs to. Meanwhile, this is something that we mainly see from Bjorn, and we're also going to be seeing it here from Maru as well. This is not a 2 racks opener, this is a 3 racks. This is 3 racks mass Reaper. We've been making Reapers and we're not stopping. We're not stopping anytime soon. So a very aggressive build here from Maru in game 1 to kick things off on Ancient Cistern. Meanwhile, across the map, Dark is going to be going for his own opener as well. Is going to be going for a hatch gas pool. Nothing too crazy outside of the fact that he is staying on gas, but that is going to be necessary as he does scout, he does check, he does confirm the 2 racks is on the low ground, so he's going to be rushing and racing into link speed as quickly as possible. But he doesn't know how committed his opponent is. He doesn't know yet. I should realize once this next Reaper comes out, and when he sees no add-ons, when he sees no other kind of variation here, he's going to be able to piece together that we have continued Reaper production on the way. There it is. Now he knows. Now he knows that we see mass Reaper coming out. Dark has a third on the way. This third is going to have to be cancelled. It is going to buy Dark some time, but it will not finish. Will not finish. Dark, meanwhile, should be working on additional queens. We'll hopefully be focusing on additional queens as the Reapers have arrived. And we should be seeing that cancel. Meanwhile, Dark is just banking up lings back at home, waiting for that link speed timing. And again, hopefully we're able to cancel in time. And up. Oof. We do manage to get a cancel off. Of course, Dark confirming that 3rd rack's in the main. And Dark is going to be committing quite hard here to just mass ling. Speed just now kicks in, and Dark is going to look to bring all of this down. So far, the kiting is looking pretty good from Maru, and we are bleeding out a lot of these lings. We get 1 Reaper, but that was 8 lings for 1 Reaper, but we do have more on the way. Maru doing a great job using the terrain, but he does get 2 of his Reapers stuck. A good catch from Dark. Would have been a lot worse as he does collapse on these Reapers once again, and he will force them back. Only 3 Reapers will survive. The Tech Labs are exposed. Stim will not finish. It will be denied. It should be. It will not be denied. No shot. Oh my god. Maru is going to be able to hold on to it. That is... yeah, solid defense here from Maru. He even has an SCV to repair as well. Dark didn't want to commit to that, didn't want to lose too much, and back at home he's droning. He's resaturating. He should be double expanding as well. He's getting his 3rd. Wouldn't be surprised if he gets a 4th base soon, as Dark has some catching up to do. Likewise, Maru able to transition very well out of this. He's got plenty of Marines. He can hold on to his add-ons. And interesting, Maru, he's going for a 1-1 follow-up. He's going to be delaying his third base. A much more aggressive follow-up here from Maru. Here we go. And Dark is going to be going for a baleen nest. Now, I assume, especially at this timing, and because we have more drones on the way, this is just a safety baleen nest. Dark wants to make sure he doesn't die to a marine push, and marine push is coming, by the way. Maru, he is moving everything out across the map. Going to be very aggressive. Stim is done, by the way. Now, Maru, he doesn't have to force his way into the natural. He's, I imagine, just going to be looking for map control and cleaning up some tumors. He does have to respect the Ling army of Dark. Doesn't want to get surrounded. Oh my god, he wants the tumor, but he's going to pay a price for it. He does lose both Reapers. A bit of a greedy move from Maru. Gets punished for it. That's wondering, he dove on this weakened tumor just to try to snipe it. Meanwhile, we have combat shields on the way. I believe the medevacs are soon to hit the field. There we go. The medevacs have arrived. Maru, he backs off because he's going to be consolidating his army, bringing everything together. And now he's going to be focusing on denying them one of these bases, on getting on top of the third if possible. Here we go. As we do stim on forward, we take down the tumors, we dive onto the middle line, onto the queens even. There are not enough links to deal with this. Oh god, the Marines, they go for a second stim. They are running out of juice here, and it looks like Dark will hold. The medevac! Full medevac goes down, a big pickoff. Dark shuts this down entirely. And now he can safely get his fourth base on the way. We got 1-1 as well. We have bathing speed. Dark is looking pretty here. It's looking pretty good. Behind this, Maru, ooh, a very delayed TC. A very delayed third base out of Maru. His initial push had to do more damage. Now, Maru has been building up his tanks. You know, there's a reason why this third base is so late, because he's been prioritizing tank production, marine production. He has another wave on the way. Now, the problem is that Maru's already lost a lot of Marines. Like, he's already lost a big chunk of his army. I don't know if this is the wisest move. Maru, he can't afford to lose these tanks. Good positioning, don't get me wrong. He's going to be able to lay siege upon the tumors and threaten the base itself. Dark is bringing everything together. The queens, the lings, the balings. Looks like the hatchery is going to go down. And now Maru, he should get the hell out of here before it's too late. Yeah. He's happy with killing the base. And now he's going to reposition, pivot around. Maybe even catch Dark unawares. Yes, the tanks are going to be able to siege up here behind the gas geysers. Very sneaky move out of Maru. Does force another cancel. Ooh, meanwhile, one of the tanks does get caught out. Dark, he will collapse on this. Bailey's will connect. The tanks will go down. And Dark cleans this up. Earlier, I thought that Maru was going to unsiege and back off. He unsieges and repositions, and again, he gets punished for it. Dark double expanding, getting a fourth and fifth at the same time. Liberator is coming in for some harassing damage at the third. Queen's not in position. Spore's not done either. It's not a bad amount of damage, but as you can see here, Maru, he is behind quite heavily in the supplies. A lot of that is just because of how poorly these fights have been going for him. I mean, he killed the base, I guess. It's not all bad. Not ideal. As the drop play just doesn't stop, Maru being so active here. At the same time, we do have another army pushing on the right-hand side, but oh, Dark is waiting for him. Not the best baling connections, but he does get on top of one of the... No, never mind. Not the best engagement from Dark. He loses his Ling Bane. The tanks will survive. Maru is able to maintain his position. And he's going to rotate over, going to be consolidating his forces. Gonna be pushing forward towards that fourth base of Dark, but here comes the Ling Bane, and the tanks go down once again. And now Dark has enough momentum to go for a counterattack. What do we have at him to defend? We have one tank, we have a Liberator. The tank is looking very exposed. And Dark, he's going to be able to collapse on this army. He may even get into the Mineral Lion. Massive Baneling connections. The Lings, they bust on through. And here at the start of this series, Dark is looking to take a win here. He's looking to gain momentum. He takes down all the depots, 9 SCVs, and GG gets called. Dark takes game 1. GG. Oh my god. Whew. And a lot of that was behind, or was because Maru was hyper aggressive this game. Again, he went for a 3-racks opener into his factory, into his starport, heavily delayed his third TC, was very aggressive here in game 1, but it did not pay off. The defensive prowess of Dark was just a little bit too good, a little bit too on point. And with that, Dark does take a lead in the series. Now, he may have taken game 1, but it's a best of 5. It is a best of 5. We have plenty of games ahead of us. So plenty of chances for Maru to bring it back, and for us to have a more back and forth series. Oh boy. Again, I would be shocked if we get a 4-0. That's shocked. I have been shocked before, though. It's not unheard of. Has happened. We'll see. So we are getting into game number 2 on Dragon Scales. Again, you know, there are no vetoes either, just because it's a best of 7. So every map will be played if we go to the ace match. Here we go. Here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have the South Korean Zerg player leading the series 1-0 here in the grand finals of the KSL SummerSlam. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player representing Onside Gaming. It is Maru. Also, I apologize. At the very start of the finals, we did have something very special happen. A shout out to Shiva Blaster in the chat for subscribing for 21 months. That's a lot of months, Bobby. That's almost 2 years of support. Thank you so much. We appreciate it, Shiva Blaster. We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Much love. Quack, Bobby, quack. But Dark has gone for a pool first. So, so it's going to be Dark's turn to be a little bit more aggressive this time. As I say that, okay, Dark is going for a pool hatch gas opener. So this isn't really aggressive. This is more of a safe opener. This means that Dark has faster queens. It means that if there wasn't a 2-racks opener, Dark could be aggressive and maybe delay the CC on the low ground. But Maru is going to be safe against early Lings. Never mind. As we throw down a Roach Warren. Interesting. Okay, we got a lot to dissect here. A lot to dissect. Just make sure I didn't miss anything else. All right, so I'm very torn. I'm very torn about this decision. So one, oh my god. Okay. There's a lot happening. So Maru does go for a low ground Rax, but only one. He goes for 1 Rax. Meanwhile, he lifts it. He's going to be hunting down this Overlord. Overlord is going to be going down. We're going to be seeing a big supply block here for Dark, but there's no wall. The factory was thrown down on the high ground as well. So because of this opener from Maru, no SCV Scout. No SCV Scout, no Reaper Scout. Maru doesn't know what's happening. He doesn't know that roaches are coming across the map. So this is best case scenario for Dark. Kind of best case scenario. The downside as to what's happening is that Dark is doing this on Dragon Scales. There's a ramp at the natural, which means Dark needs high ground vision. And he just lost that vision with his Overlord dying. His Overlord just went down, and as a result, Dark, it's going to be that much more difficult to really bust up this ramp and to break into the natural base. Meanwhile, Maru, he knows that he is he doesn't know what's happening, so he goes for a safety bunker on the low ground. So again, very mature gameplay here from Maru, making up for some of his deficits here in this game, playing it out very safely, and that is going to help him out here in his defense. Behind this, oh my god, he's going for a 2-1-1, a very delayed third CC. So again, another aggressive follow-up here from Maru, but he only has Marines to defend. Bunker has been revealed, and again, Dark needs high ground vision to attack. The bunker has enough range to chip away at the roaches, and Maru's fine. He's perfectly fine right now. There we go. We have the Overlord coming on in. The Overlord does provide some extra high ground vision, and Dark is going to be able to chip away at this depot. Depot will go down. Not a bad pickoff. Does supply block Maru for a moment. For quite a bit, actually. And the second depot is under threat. Behind this, Dark is droning. He is transitioning. Maru desperately trying to break free. He can't make anything right now. He has a tank on the way, but it is stuck in production. Another depot falls. Maru still heavily supply blocked. Oh my god. He still can't make anything this entire time. Losing 2 depots was devastating, and he only made 1 as a backup. There we go. Finally, he's breaking free. He calls down supply here on this depot. So we can make a tank, make a Viking. And this has been worth it for Dark. It has been worth it at this point. It's not done either. Behind this is getting a third base, saturating his natural, saturating his gases. And the follow-up aggression, the production of Maru has been delayed because of all these supply blocks, and Dark, he's going to be safe at home. Viking will shut down this Overlord, and with that, Dark will be racing back home here, preserving his units. Maru going straight for a third CC, and now things are going to settle down. Things will settle. Now Maru, his medevacs have been delayed because he went for a Viking first. Now we do have a reactor with that medevacs, and soon Maru is going to hit the field with his marine drop, with his stimmed marines. But it's going to take a while before that happens. Until then, we have double evo chamber for double upgrades. Third base is going to finish up. What's our queen count looking like? We've only got 4 queens, but we're about to have a 5th. We have some Roach Ravager. Looking at the vision of Dark, he didn't see the main, so he's actually not fully aware of what's happening. He's not aware of the bio push that's about to hit the field. It's not the most obvious read either, because we've been seeing tanks coming out, and it was just a really wonky early game from Maru. Here we go, the drops are moving out. The Lings don't quite spot it. There is a lot of potential for damage here with this double drop. I am concerned. Looking at the units here, Dark doesn't... He only has 2 Lings. He has mainly Ravagers, which are very fragile units. And he's only got a handful of Queens as well. Here we go. The double drop is coming into the main base. Dark is supply blocked. And we go straight for the mineral line. 3 drones go down. We do respect the army. Maru, he's going to back off. Doesn't want to overextend. And Dark is going to be taking his 4th. As Maru is not turning back around, he's going to be cleaning up a lot of these tumors. He is going to back off, and yeah, behind this, Maru, he's getting his own third up and running. Getting his production fully operational as well. Got 1-1 on the way, soon to be 2-2. Not looking too mad. Like, Dark may be ahead in supply right now, but that's mainly Roach Ravagers. Inflated supply because of his army composition. Checking the vision, Maru does see the 4th base. And we'll see if he can deny that 4th. We'll see if he can contain Dark to his 3 bases. Maru is going to be pushing on forward. Again, focuses down one of those Ravagers. He's going to get a 2nd Ravager and a 3rd. and even a fourth. This is what I was worried about. There just wasn't enough to support the Ravagers. They get targeted down one after the other. A very efficient trade for Maru. Minerals for gas. Only one Ravager survived. But Dark is going to be cutting workers. So he's cutting workers at 67, which is 3 base saturation. The fourth is only for Larva. He is looking to max out on Roach Ravager. He got 1-1 and he's not getting 2-2. He's going for a big 1-1 Roach Ravager timing. It does hurt that Dark did lose a lot of Ravagers a couple of moments ago. But does Maru have enough to defend? He has a really good tank line. The siege line here from Maru is insane, but he doesn't have enough to defend. Or does he? The boys are being pulled. Maru now recognizes how much danger he is in. Files a takes down one of those tanks. Oh, and another. Yeah, and it looks like Dark just has an overwhelming force of Roach Ravager. Pushing on forward and taking down tank after tank. And without the tanks to support, the Marines are struggling. They do get on top of the Ravagers here on the right-hand side. They're trading well. But 23 SCVs went down to try to defend the third. The damage has been done, and Dark, I'm sure he's happy to back off, regroup, consolidate his forces, and push in again. It is just becoming too much. Third base is denied. Maru just goes for a drop across the map. He's going to try to force Dark to follow him. Trying to force him away from his bases. Dark is sending his reinforcements here towards the top right-hand corner of the map. And what's important is that Dark just is not allowing the third to get up and running. Not allowing it to mine. Another tank goes down. Drop across the map gets deflected. And Maru is hurting. He is hurting right now. Again, a lot of this is just from the advantages that Dark had from the early Roach Rush. Losing Ravagers earlier just wasn't enough for Maru to really recover, because the economy of Dark had just gotten out of control. And now he's going to be saturating his bases. Now we have 2-2 on the way, Link speed as well, so we can transition into Link main Roach Ravager instead, something more efficient. Maru going for a Hail Mary play through the center. Runs into an army at the same time as Maru tries to reclaim control of his third. It is going to be spotted by Dark. A bit of an awkward push from Dark. It was a little bit disjointed. But we have reinforcements on the way, and the tanks are exposed. They're on the low ground. And the Roaches, they dive on top of the tanks. It's not going to be a pretty fight for Dark. He will lose a lot in the process, but he gets 20 more workers. As Maru is quote-unquote holding, but each time he's just losing a bit too much. And Dark, he has a good enough economy to remax, to rebuild, and to do that again. He can just keep hammering away at these defenses. And it's worth it. Now, Maru is going for a massive Dune drop into the main base. There is potential for this to do damage. He could snipe a base. Here we go, we do dive on in. The tech is a bit exposed as well. Not too many Roaches in position, and yeah, we are going to go for the Roach One. Roach One is going to go down. A good pick-off for Maru. At the same time, Dark dives on forward with his Ravagers. Does get one tank. For a bunch of Ravagers. Oh, the Queens! The Queens are in position. They take down a full medevac. Oh my god. No! They get a second and a third medevac as well. Ay, ay, ay. Something was finally kind of going Maru's way. Like, he was sniping tech. He was denying mining time. He took an efficient trade back at home, but loses the medevacs. And yeah, Dark, he's just really solidifying himself here in game 2. I don't know how Maru can come back. Not from here. He does have 3-3 on the way, and he has a good tank line, so there's a world where maybe Dark overextends and he takes a bad fight. But even if he takes a bad fight, like, he can afford to take like 2 bad fights, or even 3. It's okay. Here we go. The boys are being pulled once again. Dark collapsing on this position, looking to end the game here and now. He's going to be able to get every single one of these tanks. Will lose his entire army. The tanks on the high ground do survive. So Maru does take a good fight. He takes a good trade. But Dark can remax. Can he remax in time? I think he can. Like, again, Maru, he shuts down every single Ravager, chases it all down. He could even deny this hatchery. But we have 20 roaches in production, and here we go. They are popping out. Only one tank on the front lines. And Dark does deflect the push of Maru. But here we go. Maru, he's not going down without a fight. He lifts up his main. He's taking his main as his fourth. He's bringing all of his tanks forward. 3-3 is kicked in. Not a bad setup for Maru whatsoever. Can Maru pull this off? We do see Dark getting ready for a surround. He's going to be coming in from behind. Yeah, and he is getting on top of the tanks. He's trying to. And he will. Every tank goes down. But the Marines stand strong, and this hatchery will fall. Oof. And Maru fighting his heart out here. He was down like, what, 50 supply? Did more or less even things up. Technically has a fourth up and running. Dark, I still think he could have afforded to lose that base. Like, it's not the biggest of deals that he lost it. And he is now remaxing with Ling Bane Roach Ravager. Baneling speed is about to kick in. Like, Dark's army is becoming more efficient over time. It isn't just pure Roach Ravager, which is, you know, doesn't have as much finesse. There we go. Dark does force the pick up. Vipers have arrived as well. The hive is done. Vipers are slowly gathering energy. Once the Vipers hit the field, they can go for parasitic bombs. They can go for blinding clouds. But Maru, his macro is insane behind this. He's throwing down additional Raxes, and he could potentially kill Dark here, especially if the Vipers don't get the best blinding clouds. If they don't have the best connections, then Maru can snowball out of control. Here we go. The Vipers are coming in from behind. They're looking to neutralize these tanks, and we do have those blinding clouds and parasitic bombs. Vipers, they get sniped. Every single Viper goes down, and they only landed one blinding cloud, and it looks like, wait, Maru, he's doing it. He's actually doing it. It's becoming too much. Baileys are rolling in. We have a good spread. Do we have enough Marines? Oh. Dark barely trying to hold on. Again, the Vipers, they just weren't effective enough. The Ravagers are falling, and it looks like Maru, he has done it. He has broken on through. We have more roaches coming out. The tanks are in position. The reinforcements are rolling on in. Maru, he was dead. It's crazy. He was down to 40 workers against, what, 70 of Dark? He was down in bases, down in army. But you know what? Man with gun is one of the most efficient units in the game, and Dark was maybe stuck on Roach Ravager a little bit too long. To be fair, he is getting on top of some of these tanks, but the base is going down. Every worker is falling. This is game-ending damage. 20 drones go down alongside the hatchery. The third base fell as well. Dark knocked down to 3 bases. And Maru, he can rotate over from here. May give Maru some Marines with 3-3. Well, let's go. Oh my god, I was worried that like Dark would start with a 2-0 advantage and it would snowball out of control, but no, GG gets called. Maru, he fights back. He ties up the series 1-1. GG, well played. Oh my god. Oh, Maru, he was on some copium for a while, but the copium turned into not even hopium. What's turned into a win, Poppy? It's crazy. It's powerful. The most powerful tools that Terran have at their disposal is copium. It works. GG, well played. A really good comeback coming out from Maru there. He was at death's door, by the way. Like, things were looking dire for him. He had lost so many workers, so many tanks as well. We were talking about it at the time, we did see Dark take some really rough engagements at the time. He could afford to do so, but, you know, they were just giving Maru more opportunities and more chances to bounce back in that game, to pull himself back in. And of course, props to Maru for going for the drops when he did, trading as efficiently as possible, target firing with the tanks, and yeah, really not giving up at all. So very impressive out of Maru, and hopefully Dark isn't too disturbed by that game, because it can be like mentally like infuriating at times, or it can be quite a blow to your mental if you know that you're ahead, if you know you have a lead in a game, in a tournament, in a series, and for it to slip through your fingers, it can be frustrating. So hopefully Dark can keep a cool head, because this is a long series. There's still a lot of games ahead of us, and can't let a game like that get to you. Here we go, as we are going to be getting into game number 3. Here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Altitude, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing KranKy Gaming. That's looking having a rough game too, but of course, in a tied-up series, it is Dark. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player representing Onside Gaming. It is Maru. Coming back from the brink of defeat, an insane game 2 from Maru. And now this time is going for a 2-Rax opener. Something that we didn't see last game, which almost killed him, by the way. It straight up almost killed Maru. But now he's going back to it. It's all good. 2 Raxes are upon us back at home. Dark going for a hatch gas pool. It's important to point that out because Dark did go for a pool first in game 2. But on a map as large as Altitude, he's going to be avoiding that. He's going to be going for something a little bit more standard, more macro-oriented. Here we go. Now that we're on some of these larger maps, this is where the fact that there are no vetoes comes into play. Again, there are no holds bar. We have Altitude, we have Neo-Humanity on the horizon here. Some of these maps that are more favored towards some of these players, and we'll see if Maru can overcome some of the features of Altitude. Maru is a very aggressive player. He's very active as well. On a map like Altitude, that's kind of stifled a little bit, just because of how large the map is. It's a bit of a give and take, right? Like the bases are really spread out quite far, so drop play can have its advantages, but at the same time, there are more chances for Dark to see them coming ahead of time, to be in position to go for his own counterattacks as well. It is a double-edged sword. So we'll see how this game does unfold. As the Reaper has arrived, we're going to be dancing with the Lings of Dark. Looking for a drone kill if possible. But for the time being, is going to be able to keep Dark at bay. Dark doesn't lose anything yet. Do have that third Reaper arriving back at home. We are going for... Oh, once again, we're going to be lifting up that Rax, looking for that Overlord. So a bit of a cheeky move here from Maru. Going to be denying vision and keeping Dark inside Dark. But he was able to dip in earlier, and he actually didn't get to see too much. He at least confirmed the lack of 3 Rax. As Reapers, they dive into the main base. They get a kill on one of those drones. They do manage to escape. Good grenades. Meanwhile, that Overlord is being hunted down, and this will supply block Dark. We'll force some extra Overlords out of him. Meanwhile, back at home, we do see Maru transitioning into a 3cc before starport, so a very economic follow-up. Or 3cc 2-on-1, I should say. Which again makes sense on altitude. 2 base all-ins are not really something to be going for on a map as large as this. Well, we can see Maru is being lured out onto the map. We have plenty of links to help deal with this. We do get a surround. We do try to surround, I should say. As Maru is going to be hunted down. And all Reapers will fall. Again, a nice catch from Dark. I'm sure he would have liked to have been a little bit more efficient with that, but regardless, he does maintain map control. And Maru, with this 2-on-1 variation, he is actually going to be delaying the add-on swap. He's going to be going for Hellions first, which is what we expect to be seeing, and a Liberator first as well, not a Viking. Okay. So a little bit more aggressive here from Maru. Going to be working up towards, I imagine, 4 Hellions. I don't think he's going to make more than 4, but we'll see. See when he does go for that add-on swap. Back at home, Dark just going to be droning, saturating his bases. There's that add-on swap for the medevacs. And Dark should be aware of what's going on. He didn't see the main base, but especially after seeing these Hellions, he should be aware of, of course, the 2-on-1. It's racing back home. We have a lair on the way. Spore crawlers as well. As the Liberator was spotted by the Zonaga, which was under control of these lings. An unfortunate placement of that tumor did delay the 4th base. As the Liberator does arrive. At the same time, Hellions are going to be threatening a dive into a mineral line as well. Liberator goes down without getting too much damage at all. And the Hellions are also going to be swatted away. So a good defense by Dark. Really solid defense. As it's not over. That was the initial harassment with Hellions and Banshees. Sorry, Hellions and Liberators. But now we have the Marines moving out. Stim is done. Medevacs have arrived. And Maru is going to be looking for a cancel on this 4th. Does Stim on 40. Dives on that hatchery as well. Lings are going to be coming on in. Are they going to get here in time? It's going to be close. Up. Ooh, and we do force a cancel. Very nicely done by Maru. Going to be delaying the 4th. Going to be delaying that 4th base for quite some time. And Dark is double expanding. He has to at this point. Going to be getting his 4th and 5th at the same time. Hopefully one of them will get up and running. He's got a macro hatcher on the way. And Dark is going Lingbane Hydra. It's been a while. Typically when we see Dark against Terran, we see Roach Ravager. We see Lingbane into Ultras. Sometimes Mutaplay. It's been a hot minute since I've seen him play Lingbane Hydra. I appreciate it. Appreciate the variety that we're getting from Dark. As Hydra speed is on the way. Likewise, Maru going to be moving out with a 2nd army. He's got a double drop on the right-hand side. He's got another double drop over towards the left alongside Hellbats. Again, looking to deny the 4th for a 2nd time. The difference is that this time he's looking for a kill. Meanwhile, Dark is preoccupied by this drop. Widowmines have arrived as well to reinforce. Meanwhile, left-hand side, Dark also has Lingbane waiting for Maru. Bailing speed does kick in. But a good spread. The Banelings there only connect with the Hellbats, and the Hellbats survive, and this hatchery is going to go down. Oof. At the same time, we have a drop in towards the 4th base. The mines! Good connection on those Lings. And Maru, he's getting out of control. He's getting on top of the Queens. The Banelings went down earlier. The Hydras are not really what you want. Not in this situation. Expensive losses for Dark as they do get targeted down. Maru will back off. But he isn't done. He gets even more drones. And he wants that Hydra. He wants it. He gets it. And here comes the rest of the army. Maru does have a lot of momentum. on his side. Dark down to 4 bases. Has a decent economy, but he needs everything to come together. How many Baileys does he have? He only has 6 Bailings. That's not going to be enough. Good connection. Good Bailing connection on those Marines. But we are pushing far off of creep, and we have reinforcements coming in. At the same time, we have another double drop in between the bases. GG gets called, and Maru takes a lead in this series. Ooh. GG, pulling Dark apart. But of course, a lot of it did come down to Dark losing his 4th twice. He lost his 4th twice, initially to the cancel, to the Marine drop, and then was killed by the Hellbat push as well. Dark just, wasn't able to really get his economy going and his production going uninterrupted. Maru did a great job at just making sure Dark was uncomfortable in that game. Oh, GG. It was also a little bit bold of Dark to go that quickly into Hydras as well. Again, Hydras, they do gain a little bit more value. They become a little bit more useful as the game progresses, once you have a solid economy to sustain you. Before that, though, we do need a little bit more Ling Bane to keep up with the Bio Army. And yeah, Maru does have a lead here, but it's still a best of 7. We've still got plenty of games, plenty of matches. Here we go, as we get ready for game number 4. So for some context as well, I was hoping, or I was kind of gambling a little bit, that this tournament would only go on for 3 hours. It is going to go on for far more than 3 hours, and as a result, we are going to miss out on a little bit of WTL. So we have 2 casts tonight. We have the SummerSlam, of course, which we are covering now, and we're here in the finals, and World Team League. The qualifiers for World Team League are going to be starting in 20 minutes? Sorry. They're starting in 12 minutes. 12 minutes. So we will be missing out on the first couple of rounds, but we should be able to catch the tail end of the WTL qualifiers later on tonight. So we got plenty of StarCraft. Plenty of StarCraft ahead of us. Plenty of StarCraft to come. Oh. And personally, I still, despite the fact that we have WTL around the corner, I still would not be opposed to this series going the distance and going all the way to the ace match. Because I just want some more Dark versus Maru. I'm selfish like that. Let's go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Neo Humanity, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing KranKy Gaming. Down in the series, but not out, not by a long shot. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran representing Onside Gaming, leading the series 2-1. It is Maru. Going for another 2-Rax opener here on Neo Humanity, as to be expected. There are really strong variations of this on this map, specifically 4-Raxes, because the rush distance by ground is so short. 4-Raxes can straight up just kill the Zerg player, so there is potential here for Maru to kind of head in that direction. For now, we just have a 2-Rax opener for the time being. Meanwhile, back at home, Dark going for a hatch. Oh, going for a hatch first, followed by a spawning pool. And this is going to be a gasless opener. Okay, so Dark does enjoy doing this a lot on Neo Humanity specifically. It's a risky move, it's very greedy, but he's going straight for the third base. He's going to be delaying his gas by so much, and he's going to try and defend with purely Queen. Going to be hiding the drone for a moment here before taking that hatchery. So this is something you can get away with on this map just because of the narrow choke points. There are very narrow entryways into these bases, so you can get away with some greed here as a Zerg player against Terran. The downside, of course, is that if Maru realizes what's going on, he can continue Reaper production and he can cancel the third. He can do so. There's no way for Dark to protect this third base if Maru commits to attacking it. Typically, Maru should only make 3 Reapers, but if he sees this base, he can go up to 5 Reapers, just to make sure he's able to deny the third base and contain Dark to 2 bases. Meanwhile, The first Reaper has arrived. Is going to be dancing with the Lings. Going to be looking and does get one drone already. A good pick off here for Maru. And he's going to be checking the triangular third. Sees nothing here. And he should be, yep, he's going to be rotating over towards the linear third base location. He does make 3 Reapers. He does see that base. And he will not make additional Reapers. He commits here to the transition. We have a tech lab and the reactor on the way. And he's going for his own greed. He's going for a third CC. Not just third CC before starport. This is a third CC before factory. So a very fast third from Maru. So his answer here is to meet greed with greed. So very economic follow-ups here from both of our players. Reaper's just going to be dancing between the bases. And Dark is holding for the time being. I'm going to be losing some ground here in his main, but for the most part, Queen's going to be able to rotate on over. One of those Queens is getting very low. Oh. But Dark is still holding. And now, finally, now that he's fully saturated on his 2 bases, now he takes 2 gas geysers and he's going for the Roach War, and he's going to be skipping link speed for quite some time. And going straight for Roaches instead. Oh, good target firing. 1 Reaper goes down. And now, we'll see how Maru deals with this. So, what Dark likes to do off of this gasless opener is, obviously he delays his gases, he goes straight into Roaches, he goes for a very committed 3 base Roach push, or Roach all in, at the 3rd base of Maru, and it can be really difficult to defend. It can be really difficult to hold on here, especially with this kind of opener. Maru, he's going to have very delayed tanks. He's going to have very delayed tanks because he's going for a 2-1-1 variation as well, right? So he's going to be focusing on Hellions first, maybe some Widow Mines, into an add-on swap, into of course, Medivacs. By the time Maru gets tanks out, and by the time the Roach push happens, he may have like 3 tanks, maybe if that, and that may not be enough. Of course, maybe I'm thinking a little bit too far ahead. Maybe I'm making a bunch of assumptions as to what Dark will do, but I know that Dark has done that before. Because of that, we'll see if Maru can keep up, because there it is. We do have 2 Evo Chambers thrown down. 1-1 is on the horizon here for Dark. Oh boy. Here we go. Now, before we get to the Roach Bush of Dark, we have to focus on the 2-on-1 timing for Maru. Stim is done. Combat Shields is on the way. Medivacs are coming out as well, and Maru will be aggressive. He will be active on the map with these Marines, and there's always a chance that Maru can not just deny creep, but also get a read of what Dark is up to. Get economic damage, maybe get some Queens, maybe snipe some Roaches. Here we go. Drop is on the way. First tank is in production as well. Bear that in mind. I'm going to try and keep that in the back of my mind as well. That's what the tank count is going to be looking like. And here it is. So Dark, he's already droned up. He's already 67 workers is what you want. This is 3 base saturation out of Dark. He should not be making any more workers. 1-1 is on the horizon. He's taking the center base for Larva, and he's making nothing but Roaches. So this is going to be a very powerful 1-1 timing. We were talking about it earlier. It's going to hit very hard at the 3rd. How many tanks? not just how many tanks, but what kind of position are they going to be in? And will they survive? Will they be enough? Dark heavily supply block. 7 Overlords on the way. The supply block, oh, not helping Dark at all. But here we go. He's still producing nothing but Roaches. He's working through these rocks. He's getting ready for that push. Meanwhile, back at home, Maru, I appreciate that he's going for a 2nd factory, but I don't think that's really going to come into play for the attack. He now has 2 tanks on the low ground. The rocks are getting knocked down. Now, Dark is droning. Interesting. So, I was curious about the supply block. The supply block may have deterred Dark. Because of the supply block slowing him down, it's possible that Dark may be just lessening this attack here by droning. He is taking the center gas geyser, and he's still going to commit, don't get me wrong. But investing into these workers tells me that Dark is thinking a little bit further ahead. He may not have the most confidence in this attack. Yeah, there we go. Infestation bit. Infestation bit is on the way, so Dark is taking up. even though Dark is maxed out, and even though we only have 3 tanks, look at this. Look at the bunkers. We have 3 bunkers. We have a wall of depots. Maru is fully aware of what is coming his way, so I do think it's very wise of Dark to start to transition already. And here we go. Dark is coming in from both angles, from both sides. Despite how prepared Maru is it enough? 2 bunkers go down. Only 1 bunker is left. But really good SimCity. These 3 tanks are doing a lot. Now we have a 4th tank arriving. And it looks like, yep, Dark, he recognizes he cannot break this. He starts speed and a Bailey Nest. And 2-2. Like, Dark, he is just transitioning back at home. He recognizes he doesn't want to throw anything away, so he doesn't overcommit. He backs up. Hive is on the way as well. Dark does get a tank, but Maru, he survives. He holds. Again, if Maru didn't have 3... He had 3 tanks and really good SimCity. If he didn't have this position here, then Maru would be dead. So, really solid defense from Maru. Really good foresight as to what Dark was doing. Really good read of the situation, I should say. And here we go. Maru, he's going to go for a triple drop across the map. He's perfectly fine back at home. He has held. And Dark is double expanding. Now Dark is on the back foot. Now he's going to have to try to keep up here with the aggression of Maru. As Maru goes for the drop, he's going to be cleaning up some of the creep on the front lines. Infestors are on the way. Oh, the biles! Oof. Does connect with some of those medevacs. So these infestors, we're only getting 2 or 3. The reason for that is because we have a really heavy Roach Ravager army, which is not efficient as the game goes on, and it's lacking splash damage. So infestors, they're a great unit to support Roach Ravager against bios specifically with their fungals. Fungal growth is going to be so important to, you know, really refine this army and survive long enough to get into Hive Tech. Meanwhile, Dark is working on bailing speed. Does get a kill on that CC, not a cancel. 400 minerals down the drain. I believe that was a CC, right? Yeah. Oh my god. So 400 minerals down the drain. Good pick off from Dark. We're going for a Spire. I was going to say potentially... yeah, Lurker play, but Spire does make a lot of sense. I think this is the beginning of Broodlords. Now we get into the features of this map. That's a lot of tanks, by the way. Oh my god, we are up to 10 tanks. Maru fortifying himself very heavily here. We have more CCs. Some of them I imagine are going to be planetaries. Now this is the power of Neo-Humanity. Specifically, this map is a very defensive map because of all these choke points. You can see Maru just walling off at every single one of these locations. At every entryway, we have a wall. We have a sensor tower. We have turrets. We have tanks. And Maru is freely taking a 4th. And he should be able to freely take a 5th. As the tanks are leapfrogging forward, this center base is going to be taken. And then Maru can, of course, take the base on the left-hand side as well. After he takes his 5th and 6th, the 7th is a little bit more precarious. It's a little bit more difficult to hold on to. But initially, to get into the late game, Maru should be able to do so. And Dark is aware of that. That's why Dark has been taking up into Broodlords this entire time. He knows that he cannot break Maru. He's trading, don't get me wrong. Like, Dark, he wants to get rid of these roaches, so he's doing the best he can to trade as efficiently as possible while he gets ready for the Broodlord transition. Here we go, the lead main is rolling on forward. Big blinding clouds on the tanks. And it looks like Dark is going to be able to clean up this location here. He gets so many tanks and he gets into the mineral line. This is not a planetary, it's an orbital. Greedy move here from Maru. Does lose another tank. And Dark does back off. He doesn't do too much economic damage, but he reset. He did a really big dent into the tank count. And that's what matters. And again, we were just talking about it. Dark, he wanted to get rid of his roaches. He wanted to get rid of them as efficiently as possible, and he did. Let's quickly just double check, actually. He killed 7 tanks. In that fight, I think it was 5. He killed 5 tanks. 7 in total. And as he loses roaches and ravagers, he's replacing them with lings and banelings. Again, a much more supply-efficient army. A little more mobile, a lot cheaper as well. Greater Spire is done, and we should be working on upgrades. 0-0 Broodlords aren't really amazing. But before that happens, here we go. Lingbane rolling in once again. Position's a little bit too good though. Maru holds on. Dark, he's just taking every base on his side of the map. Droning up to 81. We have additional upgrades on the way. Hydrogen as well. No reason not to get every single upgrade, every single tech structure. Tanks are on siege, and Dark is finding a way in. Bailings, they roll into the mineral line. 15 plus SCVs go down. At the same time, the center base is denied. The Bailings, they want the ghosts. And they do find a good chunk of ghosts. Very good trades here from Dark, catching workers as well as ghosts. Oh my god, the orbital. The orbital burns down as well. Dark getting out of control, despite the fact that both players were more or less maxed out. Maru, he was unsieged. He was not in position. And Dark, somehow, some way, he finds the damage that he was looking for. And because of that, because he's been keeping Maru back, there's no reason to really focus on Broodlords right now. There's no reason to slow the game down. Dark, sorry, he has a little momentum. He takes down another tank. Takes down the CC. Nidus into the natural base is going to finish the SCVs. They don't have enough DPS. Lings do flood on in. Maru is being pulled apart. As the Lings, they ignore the SCVs. They go for the production instead. They get a tank. You know, once again, another base is being denied. Bailings roll in. Maru on barely a 3-base economy. He was so close to stabilizing. He was so close to getting up to a 5-base economy just before he could fortify his 5th base. Just as he was repositioning his army, that's when Dark struck. That's when he struck. And he remaxes with Lingbane. He's coming in once again for another wave. And we do have a decent tank line this time, so Dark has to be careful. He's working on +3 attack, +3 range, +2 about to hit in. You can see Dark just looking for another opening. So he tries to force his way through into that 3rd base. Does get on top of some of these tanks. Takes down a factory. Not amazing for Dark, but it was okay. I think he got 3 tanks in a factory here. That was a lot of supply, though. Yeah, Maru, he does smell weakness. Recognizes that Dark has to rebuild a lot of Bailings. As Dark is being forced back. Unfortunately, no Vipers. Instead of Vipers, we're going for Infestors, which isn't bad. Up! The Neural, the EMP on the Ghost as well. Not too bad. Half of the Ghosts do run out of energy. Meanwhile, Dark does go for a big counterattack. Gets into the mineral line. Does drag the Ghost out of position. And the main army collapses on the tanks. And Dark is snowballing out of control. The Bailings, they're going to be able to get into the mineral line once again. They get on top of the tanks. Sorry, they get on top of the Ghosts. 24 SCVs go down. We have borrowed Lings here at the 3rd, the 4th even. And a much more efficient trade here from Dark. Tries to go for another Neural there. Does get caught out. Another Neural! Running the Ghost in. Cheeky moves out of Dark. Scanner does take down the Infestor. Dark will lose his center base, but he can afford to lose some of his bases and some of his drones. Does not matter. As he catches more workers across the map. Dark just remaxing, getting more Bailings, more Lings, more Infestors. Not the best trade for Dark. He doesn't quite get the tank. That was a lot of Bailings as well. He has to be careful not to be too wasteful. Does have to take care. Zark is constantly trying to go for that neural. Trying to EMP those ghosts. Zark waiting for his moment. Goes for another massive counterattack as well. Once again, another neural doesn't quite go off. Bailey's rolling in. He's not looking. The ghosts go down. Maru, he was looking elsewhere. He was paying attention to the run by. And that's it. That's going to be the game. In the blink of an eye, he lost. How many ghosts was that? He takes control of the tank. 12. That was 12 ghosts going down. He only has 2 left. And they will also fall. Dark collapses on this army. Cleans it up. GG gets called. And Dark ties up the series 2-2. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Dark. Again, there was such a narrow moment there. Like, there's a lot that happened in that game. Where Dark initially committed to a 3-base 1-1 roach timing, he very quickly recognized that it wasn't going to work, so he started transitioning out of it, of course. Then suddenly Maru had a little bit of momentum. He was getting his 3rd, his 4th, his 5th base up and running. And if you remember, it was when Maru was getting that 5th base, that was when he unsieged the majority of his tanks. He was repositioning them, trying to, establish that 5th. That is exactly when Dark attacked, when he struck. And, yeah, things snowballed very quickly out of control. He killed a lot of tanks, he got into mineral lines, and he just kept the pressure up. Never allowed Maru to really recover from that moment. I think that was the peak of Maru in that game, was when he was taking that 5th, and after those fights, like, he was really struggling to keep up with Dark, to hold on to his mineral lines, and to hold on to his army even as well. So GG, really well done by Dark. Really chaotic play from him as well, and it worked out. Did work out in the end. GG. And now we have a tied up series. We are tied up 2-2, and it's a best of 5, so we at least have 2 more games ahead of us, as our next game is going to be on Gressvan. Oh boy. Here we go. Gressvan is next. If you're curious about the map order, it's going to be Gressvan, followed by Royal Blood, followed by Babylon. So, at most, we have 3 more games ahead of us. At least, we have 2 more. Plenty of games to be had. Plenty of StarCraft. And here we go, the beeps are upon us. Dark did just ask for a moment, and this is okay, you can take your time. We've had some pretty intense games, and again, a best of 7 is a long series. But now we are getting into game number 5. Here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Gressvan, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Dragon Kaizi Gaming. Tying up the series in the last game, it is Dark. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gressvan, we have his opponent, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Onside Gaming. It is Maru. Oh boy. Oh my god. And yeah, I'm just happy to see that we have a series before us. I was worried that this may be a little bit one-sided. Maru, he hasn't had too much issue making his way through into the finals. He's been just mowing down player after player. He 3-0'd Classic, he 3-1'd Ragnarok, he took down Solar 3-1 as well. But here against Dark, it's a little bit more competitive, a little bit more back and forth, which does make a little sense. Again, Dark is considered to be the best Zerg player in South Korea for a reason, and he is really making or really going toe-to-toe with Maru. Oh my god. As Maru opens up with a 2-Rax on the low ground, which is normal, it's standard, but he throws down a 3rd Rax in the main base, so it's going to be a 3-Rax Mass Reaper opener from Maru. We saw this earlier today against Solar, and now it's going to be upon us here against Dark. Mass Reaper. Now, Dark does have his Overlord on the way to scout to the main, so he will eventually recognize what's going on. And we'll see how Dark reacts and how he responds to this. As again, it was a hatch gas pool opener, a very standard economic opener out of Dark. Nothing too crazy. First Reaper is moving out. And Dark is in the midst of expanding and taking his 3rd base. Oh boy. First Reaper has arrived, and it should be shooed away by these Lings without too much issue. Oh! One drone almost goes down. But he's going to be saved, thankfully, by Dark. 3rd base is thrown down. As Dark still doesn't have a read on what's going on. Not yet. 3rd base is being focused now. We do see additional Reapers in production here, and Dark will be able to spot them as they move out. And Dark is going to be forced to cancel this 3rd. This 3rd is not long for this world. It will not finish. We can see Dark, he's tempted to try to save it, but he just saw more Reapers on the way, so he should cancel this. It's going to buy him some time. It is going to buy him a little bit of time here. As Dark did prioritize Link Speed, and Link Speed is about to kick in. There's that cancel on the 3rd. And Dark is going to be stuck here on 2 bases. Now, what's interesting is that Dark, he only made 3 queens. Delayed his 4th queen here in favor of just Mass Ling. And again, he's waiting to trap this army. He is going to be able to zone Maru away. Not allowing him to get to that Reaper cliff, but he does manage to slip past. Only 1 Reaper goes down. I love the idea there from Dark, but Maru, he was able to slip through his fingers. Was able to get away. Was able to get away in the end. And now Dark has map control. With all these Lings, he has map control. And he's going for a Bane Blast. He's going to be going all in. There is no 3rd base. A Baneling Nest is on the way. We have continued gas production. Dark, one way or another, this will end. And will Maru recognize what's going on? He has no map vision. He has no map presence. His Reapers are stuck at home. He doesn't know what's happening. He doesn't know how committed Dark is. Uh-oh. Here we go. Do we have anything to defend? Right now, we're going for an add-on swap. No Hellions, no Widowmines, no bunkers either. Now, does Dark have enough? We have a lot of Lings. The Banelings are waddling in. They will knock down the wall. Lings are going to flood into the Bane base as well. The Banelings, they will connect with the SCVs. The Marines are going down one after the other, and it looks like Dark has done it. He has broken on through. This is the downside of just committing so much direct production. You are vulnerable to these Bane Busts. I mean, it's how Solo took a game, if you remember. Solo did the same thing. As 13 SCVs have gone down, GG gets called, and Dark takes a lead in this series. He is 1 game away from becoming the KSL SummerSlam champion. Uno más, papi. Uno más. GG. And again, for those wondering, because specifically against a 3-Rax opener like that, your factory is so delayed, and once Link Speed kicks in, it's really difficult for the Terran player to scout. So this is kind of a big way to punish the Terran player if they do go 3-Rax Mass Reaper. We saw Solo do it, and we saw Dark do it as well. I think Ragnarok also did it earlier in this tournament. Not gonna lie. Oh, GG, well played. The punish was real. And now suddenly, this could be the end of the series. This could be the finale. As Dark is 1 game away. Maru, he needs to win this game here and now to force the ace match, to force Game 7. I'm living the life, Papi. Oh. Hello, Noam Chomsky. Hello. It's good to hear, Papi. It's good to hear. But here we go. We're now going to be getting into game number 6. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing KranKy Gaming. One game away from becoming the Summer Slam champion. It is Dark. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player representing Onside Gaming. It is Maru. He needs to bring it back here and now, as Dark is going for a pull first. Okay, so we'll see. This could be for a pull hatch gas opener into a very fast Roach Warren. We've seen this before from Dark, this very series. So that is probably coming up next year for Dark as well. Royal Blood, these buildings are quite exposed. The production is quite exposed here. Now, Bjorn has shown us that you can defend. You can defend against Roach Rushes. Bjorn has beautiful 2 racks defense against Roach Rushes. What you do is you throw down 2 bunkers, you prioritize your tech lab, you get Marauders out very quickly as well, you pull SCVs, you repair, and you can hold. But a lot of this is also depending on whether or not you can scout what's happening. There's that Roach one on the way, of course, from Dark. Again, we saw this before in this series. It's going to be on these Reapers here to scout and recognize what's happening. And then we'll see how Maru reacts. We'll see what his response will be. As the Reapers are in production. For now, he's not fully aware of what's going on. Lings are moving out. Dark also scouted the wall. He's aware of the 2 racks. These Lings may even force Maru to turn around. His Roaches are on the way. Now, upon arriving, Maru, he's going to recognize that this hatchery is late, so he knows it's a pull first. He has a piece of the puzzle. He does not flinch, he doesn't turn around. The Queen does rotate over, does zone the Reaper away. But we're about to have additional Reapers, which means we can dive in. Meanwhile, behind this, we're going for a 3rd and soon-to-be 4th racks. Interesting. Add-ons are on the way. The Roaches have arrived. Maru is now aware of what's going on. And we need some bunkers. We will need some bunkers, Papi, as the Roaches are making their way across the map. There we go. We have the bunker in front of these racks. Is very important. Only 1 bunker. We should be seeing a couple more. As Link Speed is on the way and Dark is going all in. He is not droning. He is not droning at all. The Roaches have arrived. SCV is going to be going down. This bunker is not going to finish. Maru not quite respecting this. He may be in some trouble. We'll see if he can still hold on. The first Marauder has arrived, and that will force these Roaches back. Again, he does have a 3rd and soon to be a 4th racks behind this, so he's going to have a lot of bio to work with. But again, without a bunker, it's going to be a tight hold here for Maru. Ravager has arrived. More Lings are coming across the map. These Lings have been hidden. They haven't been revealed to Maru yet. Additional boys are being pulled. And just in case that surround were to occur. Oh god, Dark. Yeah, keep your Overlord still, Papi. Jesus. Oh my god. As the Overlord will barely survive, thankfully. Dark was panned. Oh god! As we do see a scan, and the Overlord will go down. Supply blocking Dark. What you see is what you get. We're going to need additional Overlords here. Dark is committed. Stim looking very exposed. Reapers are going for a counterattack. They're not at home to defend. We do have 1 bunker behind the production. Roach does go down. Yeah, and Stim is going to be denied. The Reapers, they get across the map. They realize what's going on, and Maru, he throws down a wall. He sees the lack of workers, the lack of saturation. We have an eBay on the way. I think Maru's gonna be okay. Like, as long as he has decent SimCity, like, even like this Ling Flood that's coming, I don't know if that's really gonna be enough. Here we go. Dark gonna try to force the issue here, trying to dive on top of this bunker. But alas, the position is too good, the choke point is too good, and I think Maru, he's holding. For now, he is holding. Dark cannot transition out of this. He is just insanely all in. He's gonna try to surround this bunker. He actually runs past the bunker into the main base. Interesting choice. I like it. He's avoiding the bunker entirely. He's getting SCV kills in the main. A lot of SCVs are going down. Oh, but the lings are being shaved off. Meanwhile, the bunker does fall, but we have a second bunker up and running. 11 workers go down, but it looks like it's not enough. GG gets called, and Maru will tie up the series 3-3. We're going all the way. We have an ace match. Let's go, Papi. Let's go. We are going all the way to game 7. It all ends here on Babylon. Babylon will be the final map, the final game of the SummerSlam. Oh boy, here we go. Again, I was really concerned that Maru was underreacting to the all-in, but I think a really important moment for Maru was when he sent his Reapers across the map. When he sent his Reapers across, when he saw how little Dark had at home, that's when he started throwing down engineering bays. That's when he started, you know, really walling off and really working on his SimCity to make sure he was ready for the all-in. Before that happened, like, it did feel like a little bit of a lax reaction and a lax response from Maru. So he was able to tighten up quite well, and of course, defend the all-in. And now, here we go. We're getting into the final game of the series, the final game of the tournament. Oh boy. We can only crown one champion. Who is going to slam that summer? Who's going to do it? Let's go. Vamonos is spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Babylon. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing Dragon KZ Gaming, DKZ. It is Dark. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player representing Onside Gaming, tying up the series 3-3 in that last game, forcing the ace match. It is Maru, the best Terran in the world. Once again, going for that low ground 2 racks. I'm assuming it's going to be low ground 2 racks. Oh boy. And this time, Dark is going for a hatch first. No pull for shenanigans, no roach rush this time. We're all going to be, again, playing things a little bit safer here in Game 7. And Babylon is one of the smaller maps out there. The rush distance by ground is pretty short. As a result, aggressive play is favored. We have seen Maru kind of choke and starve out Dark in the past, suffocate him with his mass drop play, with his bioforce. And I do think that can be really favorable in this map as well. 8 racks are really strong on Babylon just because, again, the short rush distance, you can just rally and just reinforce so quickly on this map. Ryung is very fond of 8 racksing on Babylon, and Ryung is Maru's coach. Is this Young? Meanwhile, Dark is doing something very interesting. He's going for a... Oh my god, the greed! He's going for a gasless opener. It is a hatch, pool, hatch here from Dark. No gases, no link speed, just cutting corners and trying to focus as much as we can on mineral income, on droning. Now, we saw Dark get away with this on Neo Humanity, and it makes sense on Neo Humanity just because of the defensive features of that map. You can get away with it. It's easier to get away with it on Neo Humanity. It's much harder on a map like this. Meanwhile, it's paying off. It's paying off because Maru doesn't go for a 2 racks. He delayed his gas geyser, which is why I was a little bit concerned. He is going for a racks expand instead on the low ground, so no Reapers. Dark is going to get away with this. He won't be punished by the Reaper aggression of Maru, so he gambled and he gambled well. In a way, he gambled well, because look at this. It's a racks expand into a 4-rax. And these Marines are denying scouting. Dark, he didn't see anything. Looking at his vision, the Overlord dipped in and he was not able to see a single thing. He checks the natural, he sees 1 rax as a part of that wall. And for all he knows, it could be like a 3cc before starport, a very economic opener. It could be a 2-on-1. It could be anything. Dark doesn't know. Not yet. He still has Overlord, so he can go in for a scout. But this is going to be a very aggressive timing from Maru. He's going to be prioritizing Stim, and he's going to be hitting without Medivacs. He's going to be hitting with Stim in a couple of moments. Meanwhile, Dark back at home, he's just chilling, he's droning. He is most likely going to be taking 2 gases once he gets 2 base saturation, and he'll be going into roaches. Typically, he skips link speed and goes straight into roaches. And it's going to be a tight hold for Dark. Again, Maru doing a great job at zoning that Overlord away. Gases are being taken. Dark still trying to get a read on what's going on. Does have Lings patrolling all over the map in case there is, like, you know, a Banshee coming out or drop play, Liberator. There's that Roach Horn that we were talking about. Again, we're gonna be seeing a very big delay, or just we're not gonna get link speed at all. Dark is droning. Meanwhile, the Marine count's getting higher and higher. We're up to 60 Marines at the moment. We have 5 more in production. Stim is on the horizon. Maru is going to move out momentarily. And we can see Dark, he's trying to scout, but the Marine keeping him at bay. And Dark is still droning, by the way. He's droning quite heavily. I would say that droning up to like 55 is okay, but he's droning up even further, up to 60. And here comes the Marine army. Dark has no units. He has Dark has 6 queens and 4 slowlings, and he supply blocked. No shot. 4 overlords are on the way. The Marines are coming out. Dark is making room for roaches, and here we go. Roach production has commenced. The push has been scouted. Dark knows. He knows what's happening. He is getting ready. The queens are all being brought to the front lines. Roaches are coming out. And I think Dark is going to get away with this. I think just barely the roaches arrive in time. It's going to be close here. We're holding on to that stim. And Maru, he stims up the ramp. He's going to be focusing down the roaches and the queens. And he's going to get a couple of units here. Clutch transfuses from Dark, but he will still lose a lot of his queens as Maru gets into the mineral line. The roaches are trickling on in. You can see Maru, he's running out of steam. So far, he only gets 2 workers, but now he's going to get more. 6 drones in total. Could have been worse. Dark could be dead right now. So Dark, he does get away with it. He droned up to over 60. I think he droned up to around 70. So a very powerful, a very strong economy here for Dark. He's got a 4th base on the way. He's got roaches. He has survived. And Maru, that 4x push needed to do a little bit more. He does have a 3rd CC on the way, but this is a very delayed 3rd. This 3rd is very delayed here. So Maru, he's stuck on 2 bases. Medivacs have arrived. So now we can go for a follow-up stim drop. Maru, he still has aggressive potential. But again, Dark, for the most part, he's sitting back quite comfortably. You know, he's got 1-1 on the way, roach speed, infestation bit for a hive or for infestors. Sure, there are Marines out on the map, but this shouldn't be too much of an issue for Dark. Dark has a strong enough army this time. As long as he fights together. Yes, yeah. Still has to be careful with how he engages, but for the most part, is going to be pushing up this ramp. Does show away the drop. And you can see Dark now joining up to 70. Infestors are on the way for those fungal growths. Again, Infestors are a great supportive unit for these roaches. 1-1 soon to kick in. Maru still doesn't have a 3rd. He still cannot land it. Still being morphed into an orbital. I mean, Maru's doing a decent job at cleaning up creep. He does have 3 more Raxes on the way. Okay, so Maru is going to be 8 Raxing. So this is going to be a 3 base all-in for Maru. He's going to saturate the 3rd, don't get me wrong. But I don't think he intends to throw down a 4th base. Going up to 8 Raxes in this position is pretty committed. And we were talking about this earlier. I did bring up Ryung. Ryung loves to 8 racks on Babylon. He does impart wisdom upon Maru from time to time, and looks like Maru is going to be following suit. For now, we have drop play, but soon the army's going to move out. Soon we're going to have quite a hefty tank marine force. We'll see if Dark is going to be ready for it. Double drop slipping in between the bases. Oh, does take a fungal to the face, though. Oh, my, the chain fungal. Marines are going to be going down. The medevacs get targeted down as well. Only one Marine will survive. Great pick off here from Dark. He does get supply blocked, as he did lose an Overlord in that skirmish. But for the most part, good trade. And here we go. The push is upon us. We're making 12 Marines at a time. No gases at the 3rd. No 4th CC. We are committed. Now, can Dark hold? Again, even though Dark is ahead in supply, a lot of that is inflated because of the roaches and the drones as well. Like, Maru has a pretty terrifying army supply, but here we go. The tanks, some of them are unsieged. Dark is going to back up. Going to take this slow. Yeah, Dark, he can afford to lose a hatchery. That's okay. He can afford to throw away a base. He has Vipers on the way, and it looks like Dark, he wants to wait for the Vipers before he engages. Now, he is going to be giving a lot of room and a lot of time. Oh, no, the Viper. No! It comes out. It comes out of the exposed base. Oh, one Viper goes down. That is not good. We only have one Viper at the moment for Dark. That was very unfortunate. Here we go. We're diving on up the ramp onto the tanks. They were on siege, but the concave is looking too good. Maru is breaking on through. Now, we do have some infestors in the backline. We are waiting for those fungals. More Banelings are on the way. There is only one tank. But again, the Marines are pushing on forward. Fungal will connect, but once again, Dark has to give up another base. Again, Maru, he's all in. So Dark, he can afford to throw away some of these bases. He can afford to just take this a little bit slower, but he's losing a lot. Bear that in mind. He is losing quite a lot of ground. And Maru, he's getting closer and closer to the natural. The Vipers have arrived. And there we go. There are those blinding clouds on the tanks. And Dark is going to be able to collapse on the tank line. Cleans it all up. Keeps the Vipers alive. Keeps the Infestors alive. And that was the backbone of Maru's army. And it looks like Dark, he can shoot this away. He has no anti-air, but he doesn't need it. Dark survives. He double expanded behind this. He's been able to saturate his new 3rd and his new 4th. Now, because Maru was able to kill 2 bases, and ooh, we have even some tech that's bleeding at the moment, Maru, he can keep this going. Obviously, he's still all in, but he can keep the aggression going as he's going to be threatening a drop into the main. Queens are waiting. Vipers as well. Do we have enough energy for a parasitic bomb? We do not. The bios. As Maru is forced back. Again, Dark is really lacking anti-air. So Maru, he can do well to abuse that and go for drop play. There we go. Maru, no 4 CC. He picks up his main, landing it as the 4th. Again, that's how all-in Maru is. He's just squeezing out as much as he can out of these bases, out of this economy. He has not made an SCV in a long time. And this is still really close. Like, Dark is maxed. To be fair, he has Ultras on the way. Oh my god. Ultras are on the way. Meanwhile, this 5th is going to be cancelled. And the tech is exposed. Banelinus gets sniped. Infestation bit as well. Really good pickoffs here from Maru. Ooh, even supply blocking Dark. Oh, he wants those Overlords. As they are going to be able to fly away into the dead space. But here comes the second push, the second wave. We have 2 tanks, 2 Liberators, sorry, 3 tanks and 2 Liberators. A lot of bio, very little creep. Very little creep here on the left-hand side. A drop is coming in on the right. Oh, the Fungals! Not quite going to be connecting. Meanwhile, Dark, he's collapsing on the unsieged army. Good parasitic bombs and blinding clouds on the medevacs and tanks. files out one of those Liberators, and GG gets called. Dark has too much. He will bring down Maru in the ace match and become the SummerSlam champion. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Maru doubling down on the 8 racks. Was doing quite a lot of damage, but as we saw, he wasn't able to really cripple the economy of Dark, do any really devastating damage or critical damage to his opponent. And Dark was able to weather the storm. Very patient play, right? Dark, he gave up his 5th base. He gave up his, his 4th base. He gave up his 3rd base as well. Was willing to just give up these hatcheries, waiting for his Vipers, waiting for his Infestors to gather up energy, and waiting for that one big fight. Oh. So very patient play out of Dark. Very impressive. I know that Dark is known for being a very aggressive player in general, but yeah, did kind of temper himself here in the ace match, and with that, congratulations! Dark is going to be the KSL SummerSlam, the first SummerSlam's champion. GG, well played to Dark. My condolences to Maru, but he was quite an opponent. He's the best Terran player in the world, of course, and he really made Dark work for it. I mean, it was back and forth. Even that last game was looking pretty close as well. I was really concerned that that Maru, by landing his 4th base, by picking up and landing his main, that he may just snowball out of control. That he may be able to just muster up a second army and Dark wouldn't be ready for it, but really good engagements from our Zerg player, and GG. GG, well played. Went all the way to the ace match as well. I believe, I don't know if they are doing it, but I believe Chicken Man, he was planning an interview with Dark, but I don't know if they got a translator in time. I know that they were hoping that maybe Maddox would be free, but I don't know if that's the case. Regardless, really well done to Dark, and oh boy, hopefully this is the first of many SummerSlams, or KSL seasonal events, I should say. For those wondering, the hell is the KSL? Korean StarCraft League! Exclamation mark KSL in the chat, as you get a link to the Patreon. This event and the weekly tournaments are all funded by the Patreon page. It's a very successful Patreon, but you know what? It could be even more successful. If you want to contribute, if you want to support the Korean scene, that Patreon is the place to do it. A shout out to both Chicken Man and Dave Testa, as they both took the initiative to create the Patreon and to create this event and to organize it as well. So yeah, it's been really cool to see what Dave and Chicken Man have been able to do for the scene, for the community. And because the Patreon was so successful, originally it was only going to be weekly tournaments, but there was a bunch of excess cash on the line, excess cash kind of set aside, and it was set aside for a seasonal event like this. So yeah, really cool to see them kind of bring this together here, and we may see a winter variation. I know that it was a lot of hard work to organize this, and it's not the easiest to, you know, get these events going, so we'll see. Keep an eye out on social media on whether Dave and Chicken Man have another announcement in the future, but yeah, it's been a great tournament, and I hope you all enjoyed the event itself. It was a 3-day event. Day 1 was a qualifier, day 2 the playoffs, and day 3 the finals. So yeah, it was a pretty intense 3-day event, back to back, but it was beautiful. GG, well played. Oh my god. And yeah, so keep an eye out for any other events. Check out the Patreon. There is also a Matcherino page as well. Let me quickly find that for you. Un moment, I'll link it in the chat. If you want to support this tournament, you can do so without even spending any money. I believe there are some coupon codes available on Matcherino. Bam, there you go. There are some coupon codes on Matcherino, or you can contribute some money yourself if you want to boost the prize pool, so you can support this tournament via Matcherino if you wish. Of course, you aren't obligated to, but if you want to, you can. And yeah, with that, we are done here with our first... event of the night, but we're not done overall with StarCraft, because we have some back-to-back broadcasts. We're going to be heading over to the land of the Americas. We're done with KSL, but the WTL qualifiers, they started an hour ago, and I really want to jump in. Oh boy. I really want to join in if possible. Oh boy. So we're going to be going on a short break. It looks like the series that we were looking at has already started, of course. We're going to be casting Mystery Gaming versus Blazer Titans. Sorry, the CSO Blazer Titans. And I should let them know that as well. So we are going to be covering the WTL qualifiers. We're going to be going on a short break. I will be turning the stream off because I do need to turn on a delay. I do need to change the delay on the stream, so the stream will be turning off for a minute or two, and then we'll be coming back with the World Team League qualifiers. See you soon. See you soon. Again, a shout out to Dave, to Chicken Man. Check out the Patreon, the Matcherino, KSL, all things Korean StarCraft. Oh. And if you only wanted the Korean StarCraft, hope you guys have a great weekend. Hope you enjoy yourselves. If you want some more StarCraft, stick around. We'll be back in a couple of minutes with WTL. See you soon. See you soon.